Hello, Chiquis!
And welcome to Chatty Amigas, a podcast where two friends approach everyday problems and find practical solutions.
We are your hosts. I'm Mafe.
And I'm Ella. So, everybody argues. We will never get away from it. We will never escape from it. It's just life, and we all need to accept it, right?
Yes.
Even if it's little things or big things, we're all imperfect, and there's something we'll always disagree on. There's always going to be a misunderstanding. There will always be an argument.
That's exactly right. So, how can we argue in a nice way? Today, we'll be spilling the tea on arguing.
So, all right. Words are often exchanged in the heat of the moment that can't be taken back. And while some people would argue,
The quotes.
and a little bit of arguing is healthy and sometimes needed to clear the air, we believe that there are better ways to resolve that tension. So, and I agree wholeheartedly with that. Like, there are ways to talk about it. So you'll have a disagreement, but there doesn't need to get to that point. So here are our top 10 tips on avoiding how to get to an unnecessary conflict where everyone's screaming, shouting, feelings hurt. So arguing in a healthy way.
That's right. Communicating.
Communication. So the first thing, don't bottle it up. Like, just don't do it. If you feel upset about something or someone has angered you of some sort, just don't bottle it up. It's bad because it stays in your heart. You become that kettle or pressure cooker that eventually just pops
and it explodes.
And then you take it out on everybody, and then everyone gets like confused and you're upset. It's just a whole mess. Just don't do that. It's very unhealthy. It leads to stress, sleep deprivation. It's bad for your heart. Like I said, it actually is. The scientifically proven.
Yeah.
So, inevitably your feelings will come out. And if you haven't processed them in a healthy way, it's likely you will erupt in anger. When something has bothered you, voice it, talk about it, find a way to resolve it and move on. Whether it's writing, anything, just for the love of God, just speak up. It's okay. No one's gonna, if a person really loves you and values your relationship, I promise you, they will not go away because you have an opinion or because you have feelings. Actually, I find that people like to stick around because you have an opinion and feelings. And if you lose someone because of that, then thank God, because they were just not the right people for you. And it just gives you more time and energy to put that into someone else that's worth it.
That's right. And with that being said, if you're going to talk about it, the number 2 is say it, don't shout it. Because if you're too upset to talk about things that, stuff that's been bothering you or the situation, you can always say, I'm feeling too upset right now to talk about this. Can we talk about it later? Because now you're going to give yourself some time to calm down, collect your thoughts, and approach the matter in a way that isn't likely to start a bigger issue. So it's better to resolve the problem if you're going to talk about it calmly rather than, screaming at each other, raising your voice, stuff like that. Because now if you're shouting, it's more likely to make the other person feel defensive, and the reaction may be to shout back. So you still express yourself, but just calmly. Don't scream at each other.
Yeah, it's hard. Just ask for 5 minutes. Take 5 minutes, then come back. It's fine.
Yeah.
There's never that much of an emergency. Like, it can be resolved later.
Exactly. Yes.
Third one, don't bring up the past. Please. It's harder. It's harder said than done, but just don't do it. If you have forgiven someone for something they did in the past, then stick to your word and leave it in the past. It is not fair to say you had forgiven someone and then continue to hold a grudge or bring it up every time a problem arises. If you feel like you can't move on from the event, then maybe be honest with yourself and the other person. It might be that you're better off out of each other's lives for now. Letting go can be hard sometimes. It is the healthiest thing to do. So I agree with that 100%. I think we should all forgive everybody for what they do. It's just good for your health. I also am a big Bible gal. It's biblical, if that's something that you take seriously. And I feel like it gives you peace. It does. So learn to forgive the person for yourself. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to erase exactly how that person hurt you. In fact, that's kind of the opposite of how we're made. We're made to remember things for safety. but it doesn't mean that we're always going to throw it at that person like, oh, you're evil because you did this thing. Depending on how healthy or unhealthy the situation was, feel free to go back to our friendship breakup for more information on that.
Yep.
But sometimes it's okay to just like give the benefit of the doubt, see if they react differently. If they keep doing the same thing over and over again, and you just can't let it go at that point, that's fine. Forgive them for yourself, but then like keep a distance.
Move on.
Move on. Or sometimes it's okay to take a break for a few years and eventually meet up again later in life. Sometimes that happens. I'm a big fan of not burning bridges if possible, but if you need that break, just take that break. I hope I made sense.
Yep. Very true. Very true. I agree. So the next one is to try and understand their point of view. So try to put yourself in their shoes. I know everybody says that, but this does apply and it does work out. So try to understand their point of view, no matter how hard it may be, and try to not devalue their opinion. You might be able to find a compromise that suits you both if you are trying to understand where they're coming from. And that is very hard if you're in the heat of the moment, right? You're both angry or somebody's already started to scream. But again, take 5 minutes, don't shout it, just back away for a second, think about it, and then come back to try to understand where they're coming from. And yeah, you'll find a better compromise that helps, or that's better for both of you.
And I feel like you need to know your audience. If this is someone that has shown that they've cared about you and they don't like have any bad seed towards you, take that into consideration too, right? There might be something that's just being miscommunicated or that you're just not understanding, or maybe they're just having a bad week or a bad day. They're not bad people. Sometimes things happen. We always don't know everything. It's just kind of giving the benefit of the doubt. It's important.
Yep. Very true.
The fifth one, agree to disagree. I love this because sometimes you're just not gonna see things the same. And you know what? That's okay. That's what makes the world go round. That's what makes things not boring. That everyone has a different opinion, which is awesome when you have a really weird situation and you need different opinions to help you resolve it. And then that other person's opinion fixes it, right?
Right.
So it's okay to agree to disagree when things come to an argumentative state. So yeah, does it really matter? Think about that. When you're, disagreeing about something, does it really matter? Is it worth hurting each other's feelings over? Or can you put it to one side and move on?
There's been plenty of times that Mel and I have just agreed to disagree.
Yeah, and that's fine.
That's
and we're
fine.
Still friends for what? How many years now? 7?
How long have you been married?
I've been married 6, so I guess 7 years.
So 7, yes.
Yeah, and it's worked well.
Yeah, because as much as alike as we are, we're also very different, and there's stuff that we just don't agree on, and that's okay. It's better to agree to disagree than to just sit and fight for stuff that is like trivial stuff, because I'm pretty sure neither one of us even remembers those conversations.
Yeah, and it really doesn't matter because at the end of, because you're allowed to have a different opinion. It's just that's what's called being a mature grown-up. I'm calling us mature, right? I'm hoping we I think you are. I'm hoping I am.
You too.
But thank you. But it's like, you know what? I accept you for being a person with your own opinions. And it is what it is. Like, it doesn't mean you're wrong. It just means it's different. So I'm going to just, you know what? That's how she feels. I'm going to respect that. I'm going to accept it and move on. It doesn't mean I have to change who I am. Just means that we need to harmoniously, calm it down and like put it together somehow and move forward.
Yeah, and we have. And it's worked. Here we are.
I think so. Yeah. Now we're socias.
That's right. Next one, rise above it. If you feel like someone...
explain what a socia is. It's a business partner. Carry on.
Oh, okay.
Not everyone speaks Spanish. Okay, go ahead.
That's true.
Portuguese, because it's a Portuguese word too. Okay, go ahead.
There you go. Rise above it. If you feel like someone is trying to pick a fight with you, don't give them what they want. Be the bigger person and rise above it. If you feel like they're trying to provoke you, remove yourself from their company and environment for a while. So, very true. Don't fight just because somebody is trying to fight you. Don't give them what they want. If there's not a real fight or a real argument or a real disagreement, just walk away from that. There's no need to get your feelings all rattled up for no reason.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that they're bad people, but sometimes maybe it is a toxic friendship. So feel free to listen to friendship breakups to see if maybe that'll help you out. Sometimes it could be that they're just good people. They're just not mature. But yeah, 100% agree. don't argue. There's no point. You're going to get stuck in that circle of round and round and round and round, and it's going to deplete all your energy, and
Exactly.
it's not worth it. Number 7, calm down.
But don't tell the other person to calm down. That's gonna, it's gonna make it worse.
I think you can tell guys to calm down. You can't tell girls to calm down.
Yeah.
Guys, you tell them calm down, they take that as a, hey, chill. Hey, are you good? Like, let's breathe. They don't take it as an attack. Women take it as a, you're psycho crazy. Everything you're saying means nothing. You don't know what you're doing and you're just low. That's how women take it. So you just have to know your audience. But yeah, better off just not saying it. Although I've said to guys to calm down, and it like works so much in my favor.
Well, good.
I can't do that to women though, obviously.
No. Yeah.
So I do this. Try and count to 10 slowly in your head before speaking to someone in an abrupt tone or voicing something that might cause a problem. Evaluate whether it is worth it. Breathe deeply when you feel yourself getting annoyed and try to imagine things that make you happy in life. This might lift your spirits and stop you from causing yourself and someone else distress. So the way I do it, and I had to do this when I worked with children with mental disabilities, because a lot of times they don't understand, or they're doing it on purpose to make you have a feeling, or make you, they like to like poke at you and trigger you to make you react negatively. It's just they love that for some reason. So especially when they're little. So I had this one kid, he threw stuff at me, like at my face while I was trying to make him do math, and I just had to not move. I've been spit at before by kids, scratched by kids, because they have mental disabilities. Like, it's just part of the job.
Yeah.
So what I would do is I would just focus on one area with my eyes. I don't move my eyes, and I do 1, 2, and I would do this, and you breathe in from your mouth and out through, in through your nose and out through your mouth twice as much, and you count 3 and do it to 10. The kid thinks you're crazy. They freak out. The kid freaked out. He started doing the work. I didn't even have to do anything. But honestly, that really does help me in a really weird, tense situation, because I used to be like, counting to 10 to be 1, 2, 3 actually would aggravate me. And you know what? I'm kind of glad I didn't, because 8 out of 10 times it was a misunderstanding on my part.
Right.
So I learned that there's a value in speaking. I'm not a mom, but if I ever did have children, I would try to carry that on, because sometimes you get mad at them and they didn't do anything wrong, and then you feel guilty. It's like a whole, I can't even imagine as a parent doing that, because I would feel like that as a teacher.
Right. Yeah. So definitely, yeah, calm down, take a breather.
Yeah, do it.
Next one, don't take it personally. When people are angry or upset or frustrated, they sometimes say things they don't mean. So try not to take a bad mood personally, or what they say in the heat of the moment to heart. Because when we're stressed, we lose clarity of vision and say things we don't actually mean just to hurt the other person. Words we wish we could take back. So take that in mind, because I'm pretty sure all of us have said something that we have regretted in time. So if you're in an argument and somebody says something, just don't take it personally, because when they calm down, they'll probably be apologizing for that. And just think about that. Will you regret saying something once you have calmed down? And if, probably you would, then, don't take it personally if somebody else does it to you.
Another thing is, be the one to stop it before it starts. So if you feel that there's tension between you and the other person, ask if everything's okay, or if you've done anything to upset them. Just nip it in the bud before it gets uglier. With that said, number 1 also was talk about it. So talk about it. Let's just, unless you need to process it, I get that. But it's okay to communicate.
Yeah, that's right. Talk about it, and if you think that it's going nowhere, just stop it before it even begins.
Yeah, be the bigger one.
Yeah. So the last one, admit when you're wrong. Sometimes it is incredibly hard to admit when you are in the wrong, but if you are, find the courage to admit it. You only command respect from the other person by doing so, and you will feel better about yourself for acknowledging the truth. Arguing for the sake of arguing is just pointless. If you mean it, say sorry. Just admit it. Admit it if you're in the wrong.
And it's okay, because the friendship is worth it. What my mom used to say, and I still say to this day, you're better off having peace than being right.
Yep.
Sometimes you might feel like you're right, and you probably are, but is it worth it? Is it worth it? If it's a continuous toxic thing, okay, that's different. But like when a normal everyday something stupid, let it
Yeah.
go. It's
Just let
fine.
it go.
Or admit that you're wrong. It's fine. When you're wrong, no, they're gonna probably respect you more for it. Honestly.
Yeah. It's very true. It's best to keep peace. That's true.
Yes. So, should we do tea time, do you think? I think this is a great way to transition. Yeah?
I think it is tea time.
Tea time. I do the low tone now because the high pitch is to cut off.
So, tea time is when we answer one question that has been submitted to us by one of our listeners.
And today's question was sent to us by Camila. Thank you, Camila.
Thank you.
And her
Gracias.
question was how to avoid arguing with my husband. I think this is a great question.
I ain't got no husband, so I'm just gonna sit here quietly. Goodbye.
Doesn't matter. It's good if you have like a spouse, like a partner of sorts, the boyfriend. It doesn't matter. So, okay. The thing is, you have to feel okay. You have to remember you're a team. You're not against one another. You are fighting together. This is your chosen life partner. This is your family that you choose. So this person loves you. They're not trying to make you mad because then they have to put up with the after effects of your mad. And no one wants to, believe me. So you just have to remember they're all on the same team. I'm hitting my mic. Clearly, I'm passionate about this. I haven't done that in a minute. Okay. So there are a few effective phrases that helps with the communication. And it's not going to completely stop the argument. You're probably going to have a disagreement. That's okay and that's healthy because that means that they're being the true selves if they have a different opinion. But there are ways to put it down in a way or words where it won't escalate to this ugly fighting fest, right? Okay. So I'm going to tell you all the 9 phrases. Highly recommend you guys using it. 10 out of 10. I've done it. Eric and I never fight. We have disagreements, but we don't yell. We don't fight because we actually apply this. And I'm lucky because I'm married to a good, humble person. So, and he has his opinion. Like a lot of times we don't agree on certain things that are dumb. We agree on the bigger things. If you're looking to marry someone, I highly recommend have the same big values and morals and goals be the same. Makes your life a million times easier. And the little benign things, sometimes we do disagree. So this is the stuff honestly, we've done this and it just works. Number 1, good point. Say good point, or you have a point. Start with this phrase. You don't need to agree with the entire premises to make sure that they made a valid point. Like you're allowed to agree with one thing they say. Number 2, say that makes sense because it may make sense. You might not agree with it, or maybe you do it like, oh God, I see it. Just say that makes sense. Number 3, tell me more. Meaning, explain yourself. Why do you feel this way? Why are you saying this? I have to say many an argument has been stopped because of that. Communicating, you know? Number 4, I can understand why you would want that. Try to put yourself in their shoes. See, like, oh, okay, maybe they want it like this. Number 5, you are right. Especially if they're right. Just admit it. It's not a big deal. They'll probably respect you more for that. I love this one. Number 6, we're smart people. We can figure this out. Sometimes you're not going to 100% agree, but you're both smart people and you will figure it out. Number 7, that really means a lot to you, doesn't it? Because sometimes emotions are involved. And that's something that needs to be taken into consideration and respected. Number 8, I just have to say, no matter what happens, you are the most important thing to me. Reassuring that no matter what, you won't leave them. Number 9, I love you. I feel like there's nothing much to say after that. So hopefully, if you do have a disagreement or an argument, if you see something that's going to escalate, I hope one of these things do help you, Camila. We're going to link this link down below. Feel free to look at it more deeply and hopefully it'll help you in the future.
That's right. So we hope that helped out, Camila. Thank you so much for sending your question. So that wraps up the tea time portion for today. If you would like to have one of your questions featured on one of our upcoming episodes, please feel free to go on our website and fill out the portion under Tea Time, DM us, or send us a message under Tea Time on Spotify if you're listening on Spotify.
Yeah. So at the end, we all need to learn the right way to apologize to the person if we do upset them. If it becomes that argument, that's insane. Or if it gets more escalated than we anticipate it to, it's okay to apologize because we never want to hurt the person we care about. It's never our intention.
That's right. And it's just as people have different love languages, we all have different apology languages too. So it's not enough to recognize that you've hurt your loved one and you owe them an apology. You have to know them enough to tailor your apology to their needs. So we want to make sure that we show that we care, not just saying, I'm sorry, right? You have to know how to apologize. And that's what you need to
And
know
even
somebody.
if it's not just a loved one, if it's somebody you work with, just to keep the peace, it's all good if we learn how to apologize, even if we don't want to or we feel we're not wrong. But understand that people have feelings and they view life differently, and understanding that at the end of the day you have peace. That is just so invaluable. Having a peaceful work environment. Do you have any idea how much people kill for that? Like, they don't know that.
Yeah. And one of these articles towards the end had something really beautiful, and it said, some people want big gestures and some people just want I'm really sorry I hurt your feelings and I will take steps not to do that again. The process is figuring out what's meaningful to your partner or to your friend.
Yeah. And not just saying it, actually doing it. If you really are going to say, I'm sorry for doing ABC, I'm going to change it, just do it. And you know what? At the end of the day, you're probably going to be a better person for it, because chances are they're probably not the only person complaining about it. You probably heard it 7,000 other times. But now, for some reason, this person is the one that's going to make you react.
Yeah.
So keep your word. And if you're not going to keep your word, just don't say that. But then maybe you need to reflect if maybe this kind of relationship is healthy.
That's right. That is right. So we hope that this has been helpful for everybody.
Yep. Agreed.
That is it for our podcast today. Thank you so much for listening. We sincerely hope you liked it.
We would love to know what you thought about our episode, so feel free to please leave a comment. Feel free to let us know what topics you would like for us to discuss in the future.
Please subscribe, give us a like, a follow, and or a start rating if you want to hear more episodes like this one. Please follow us on every social media platforms at Chatty Amigas.
Thank you so much for listening, Chiquis. We will be back every Tuesday with the team.
Bye.